Welcome to the ground control station. In this video today, we're just going to have a brief discussion and a review of the PowerMax PM3 100. Okay, now I own 3 PowerMax power supplies. Okay, 2 of them are 100 amps and 1 of them is 60 amps. Now, PowerMax has a new design here, considering color and also the fan system. Okay, the fan system on all their devices are temperature controlled, so they're not going to cut on as soon as you put power to the PowerMax. All right, they're temperature controlled, so they cut on when they start sensing, a certain amount of heat. Now we go back over here to the PowerMax 100A. It's not much of a difference there, okay? This is their first version. Now, you can run a 4-pill off this, man. Even dumping about 100 watts peak into the 4-pill, the high drive 4-pill. And it won't stress this thing out, not whatsoever. Now, if you start dumping 125, 150 watts of peak drive into your 4-pill, yeah, it's gonna be a little bit more of a load on your power supply. But guys, these things are inexpensive. For 100 amps, you're paying about $198. Can't beat that. Okay. Also, they have a 3-stage voltage unit, which varies between, I believe, 13.6, 14.6, and 16.5. Also, it has a fixed output. So when you have a fixed output like that, you can come back here and dial in your voltage. Now, these things do not have a built-in switch. So when you need to unpower your amplifier and cut this thing off, it will be unplugged from the outlet. Okay, there's no built-in switches for these. No big deal. Now, we have ours set at a voltage of 14.99. Okay, right on the threshold of 15 volts. That's where I run most of my amplifiers at, unless they're MOSFETs. Okay, MOSFETs are very sensitive to higher voltages than your common 2879 or normal transistor, the push and pull effect, instead of a MOSFET, which is a field effect transistor. All right, but yeah, I just want to do a quick review, man. And okay, seems like my multimeter here needs to have a new battery changed out. No big deal. All right, so of course you got 4 fuses, 40 amp a piece. Okay, and you got your chassis ground, but you can ground this thing out to a grounding rod. And of course your hot and cold, or hot and negative terminals. Now, another thing I want to discuss, since I'm involved with a lot of people who are trying to work on their own radios, and they email me and they message me, and I give them all the help I can give. I think it was 3 days ago, 4 days ago, something like that. Guy had told me, he kind of did a oops while he was tuning his own radio. And he said, ground control, I didn't have it plugged up, or nothing like that, man. And the next thing I know, it goes poof and lets out a little bit of smoke. Well, guys, one of my most pet peeves when it comes to working on radios, and this is the reason why I make sure I have my stickers, just to remind me. Like I say, those type of stickers are in real technical service areas, considering government or maybe high-tech facilities. And people are working on electronics and using test equipment. These things, man, they're all over the place to remind these professionals as well to disconnect and drain the equipment that you're testing, okay? And what I mean by drain is you gotta drain the caps, okay? Drain the caps before you work on your electronics. Now me, everything that I use, other than a solder iron, of course, is non-conductive, okay? I use all non-conductive tuning tools, okay? These are not metal. So that's one good way of avoiding arcing something or blowing something up, causing a short circuit while you're working on a radio, okay? Non-conductive tuning tools. All right, let's see if I can get this multimeter to cut back on. $14.99. All right, so there's no switch here. So what we have to do, let's go down here and unplug the power supply. It's that simple, okay? Power supply is unplugged. You wouldn't believe the amount of voltage still left in capacitors and circuits once you unplug something, okay? And we're talking about, 1 or 2 volts. And if you're using a metal screwdriver or a metal tuning tool and you accidentally touch 2 different components, whether they're in the same circuit or not, you're gonna get some type of arc. You might even short something out or blow something out, which is usually gonna be a component, electrical component. So as I'm talking to you now, we still have 4 volts present from the power supply. Now pretend this was a radio and you go in here with your metal screwdriver, okay? And you arc something. You touch maybe a diode and resistor or whatever the case may be. There's still electricity present in these circuits. I'm still talking, there's still voltage present. There's no power to this power supply. So, I can't state enough how it is important to drain the caps of your radios before you go in there and start tinkering around. Like I say, non-conductive tuning tools and draining your caps. These are the 2 most important things when it comes to working on electronics. And it'll save your ass. Best believe it will. I'm still jibber jabbering. There's no power at all to this power supply, and we still have a voltage of about 1.5. That's enough to fry any component, really, depending on how it's arced or short-circuited, okay? So, like I say, it's a small review. A lot of guys always wonder about the PowerMax. Some of you have used them. Some of you are using them now. I can tell you right now, you can run a 4-pill on a 100-amp power supply easy for $198. Okay, so instead of going out here and paying $200, $300, $400 for unregulated, homebrew built power supply, you can save yourself some money here. Now, once you get past the 4-pill, you're definitely going to need more than 100 amps. Okay, so. I'm still jibber jabbering. Looks like we got over 0.5 volt still present here on the terminals. All right. So you see what I mean about draining capacitors on your radio before you start service them. Okay. You see what I mean when it comes to tuning tools. Okay. These things can, I think up to 1,000 volts. It can stop any electricity from arcing to your body. Up to 1,000 volts. I believe if it's over 1,000 volts, and don't quote me on this, because I can't remember everything I read, okay? But I'm pretty sure it's 1,000 volts. Up to 1,000 volts, yeah. Anything close to 1,999 volts, whatever, that voltage will arc right through this and grab your ass. So guys, non-conductive tuning tools, and drain your equipment before you start working on it, okay? Look, we're still jibber-jabbering, 10 minutes into the video, and we still got 3/4 of a volt present on a piece of equipment that is not plugged up, all right? Now, this may be draining just a little bit slower because of the capacitance level of the power supply, but it's not going to be much different than a radio, okay? A radio is probably going to drain just a little bit faster. But as you can tell, we still got basically 1/4 of a volt on the terminals. So if you go in here with metal tools and start working on it inside, whether it be a power supply or a radio, yeah, bad things can happen. So I guess we can consider this video half review, half, safety knowledge. Yeah, man. And I tell you what, they're pretty good power supplies, man. I don't have it in me to spend $400 on an unregulated power supply from some amp builder. I'd rather just talk barefoot than spend that much money on a power supply. It is what it is, man. Things are getting cheaper. Not at all. But just like I say, just a little bit of tidbit here. All right. I got things kind of in disarray a little bit. I've been working on straightening this thing up and getting this shop all together. I got solder irons everywhere and, handheld oscilloscopes and yeah. But, eventually we're going to get this place exactly the way we want it, man. And we don't have to think about it no more. And then it'll just be upkeep and maintenance. So, yeah. All right, man. About 12 minutes into the video, man, we still have some voltage present in the circuit. All right. Well, guys, I hope this video finds you in time. I hope this finds you in good health. And give me a like. Hit that notification bell. Subscribe if you haven't already. There's always more content to come. And most of the time, it's not as simple as this video. It's a little bit more complex. But somewhere out there, this is a small piece of knowledge that somebody's going to pick up on and keep up in the old nagging. Okay? You know who it is. Ground Control. 204 Black Ops Technology.